And connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
And I seen a bunch of cops and a whole bunch of yelling and screaming.
They got shot on Main Street and then they drove here where they were already shot.
We begin with new information about the two people shot and injured by a federal agent in Southeast Portland yesterday afternoon. You just heard from neighbors who were there as everything unfolded. This afternoon, the Portland police chief provided two major updates.
Significant updates. First, the people shot, Luis Moncada and Yorlis Zambrano Contreras, are in stable condition and are expected to recover. Chief Day also confirming what Homeland Security has said. Both have criminal records to some extent and some sort of connection with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. DHS previously said Moncada had been arrested for DUI and unauthorized use of a vehicle. In Zambrano Contreras, the woman was involved in a Washington County prostitution ring. Both are accused of being in the U.S. illegally, with federal officials saying Moncada tried to run over an agent or agents, and that is when the Border Patrol agent opened fire.
Our team coverage continues now with Blair Best at 146th and East Burnside, where the people who were shot drove themselves and apparently called 911. Blair, what have you learned?
So I can tell you that this neighborhood is much calmer compared to the same time last night. You know, when we were here last night, these streets were packed with police and neighbors just wondering what had happened. Today we talked with those who live in this apartment complex behind me. That is where officers found the two people who had been shot by a federal agent. And we're hearing mixed reactions tonight. You know, some people are angry, some are afraid that they watched this unfold so close to where they live. We also talked with a woman who says she knew the two people had been shot. But let's break down the timeline here. Just before 2:30 Thursday afternoon, Portland police surrounded this apartment complex off Northeast 146th and Burnside. Officers responded to a man calling for help after a federal agent shot him and a woman about 3 miles away. Video shared with KGW shows medics addressing one of the shooting victims on a sidewalk inside this apartment complex.
I came outside, I looked down by the red truck that was parked closest to the building here. There was a victim on the ground, looked like he had like multiple wounds.
How long have they lived here?
I would say like less than a year. Oh, I just know that they're pretty family oriented. You know, they big family and they just seem nice.
There's been reports that they were part of a gang.
I've never seen any gang activity, honestly. Like I said, they're pretty family oriented.
And today, Portland Police Chief did confirm that the two people shot are connected to a gang. They are in custody in the hospital recovering tonight, and we're told they are in stable condition. Back to you.
Appreciate the update. Blair Best reporting live from Northeast Portland tonight. Thank you, Blair. Well, the shooting prompted a protest last night near the ICE facility in South Portland. Police say they arrested 6 people, 5 of them on charges including riot, disorderly conduct, and interfering with a police officer. A 6th person was arrested, police say, for the use of amplified sound equipment and was then charged with disorderly conduct. Police added a couple officers were slightly injured. Portland police say they don't engage in immigration enforcement, but are still responsible for maintaining public safety. This afternoon, Portland Police Chief Bob Day indicated the Bureau is involved in the FBI's investigation into the shooting, assisting and providing perspective. But so far, we have not heard much from the FBI.
Very little. Team coverage continues now with Evan Watson. Evan?
Yeah, at this point, there are 2 different investigations that we are looking at and tracking when it comes to this case. First, the FBI is leading the use of force investigation involving the federal agents, as is typical. But the Oregon Department of Justice is also getting involved. FBI detectives will investigate Thursday's shooting to determine what happened and if the shooting was justified.
You're not going to get a lot of updates from the FBI or other federal agencies as they go through it. They're going to be working with U.S. Attorney's Office to identify what happened.
Meanwhile, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield says the state's Department of Justice will also open its own formal investigation. In November, Rayfield warned the federal government that he would investigate and prosecute any federal agents who use force beyond the reasonable scope of their duties, a response to reports of aggressive immigration enforcement. Brian Dugan, a former FBI agent, says escalating pressure with the immigration crackdown is contributing to dangerous situations for all involved.
It's making a tinderbox for both the law enforcement professionals and the citizenry. It's just more activity, more operations. It's just heightened awareness, heightened anxiety on both sides. It's a faster pace. It's less preparation. It's just kind of shooting, moving out there to get to numbers.
Rayfield says Oregon's own review of the shooting is part of a need for transparency and accountability. Dugan says details about the federal investigation will be minimal, as is typical for the FBI. In light of recent shootings across the country, Dugan calls for a pause or slowdown on federal immigration enforcement.
I would like to see like a pause, like just kind of like, let's take a breath. Let's do a safety pause. Let's do a moment where we kind of make sure we're doing things the right way.
Both this shooting in Portland and the shooting in Minnesota on Wednesday involved federal agents shooting at people who were in their cars. However, in Minnesota, an agent shot Renee Nicole Good, who was not the subject of their immigration stop. Federal authorities say the 2 people shot in Portland were their intended targets.
Thanks, Evan. Important context there. Appreciate it. Well, meanwhile, Homeland Security, along with Portland police, say the 2 people shot in Portland, as we reported, are suspected of being affiliated with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua.
Devin Haskins has been looking into TDA as it's known. Devin, what are you learning?
Yeah, when the economy collapsed in Venezuela several years ago, a wave of migrants fled the country and headed to several countries. And during the migration, it said the gang members blended in, making their way here to the United States.
Tren de Aragua translates to Train of Aragua. It started in a Venezuelan prison. It grew under and was supported by former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. As millions of Venezuelans fled an economic collapse, Tren de Aragua cells followed migrants into several countries, including the U.S.
I became aware of TDA in early 2023 and was told that they were they were just crossing the border, South Florida, Southern Texas. And then within 6 months, they'd become wildfire crossing the United States.
I talked with retired FBI Special Agent Daniel Bruner, who studied and investigated Latin American gangs.
Now their presence is a lot less identified now because of the increased immigration movement. They've moved a lot of their operations underground. They're very quiet.
Bruner says they are known to be involved in several crimes, from human smuggling and sexual exploitation to narcotics and weapons trafficking. And their violent methods are what makes them dangerous.
They understand how to intimidate with violence and getting their way. They don't go the ultra-violent way like MS-13 with machetes and cutting heads off, because they know that gets attention. But using force in support of their, whether it be weapons, violence, shooting, beatings, those are all part of their folder.
According to DHS, the 2 people shot in Portland by a federal agent on Thursday are both said to be associated with the Tren de Aragua gang. Bruner says members hide amongst the community and try to blend in to avoid detection.
If there's a Venezuelan community in Oregon, it's a good percentage chance that there is TDA hidden amongst them. May not be many, maybe 1 or 2, but they're there.
The Tren de Aragua gang was designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the State Department last year. David?
Yeah, Devin Haskins digging into it in the newsroom. Thank you, Devin. Well, as for the shooting in Minnesota, Democratic lawmakers are now calling on the Trump administration and officials to testify before Congress.
In recent weeks, congressional Democrats have talked about using the budget process to rein in the Department of Homeland Security's immigration enforcement operations. Today, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson called that a, quote, terrible idea, saying, quote, we should not be limiting funding for Homeland Security at a dangerous time. Officials in Minnesota, meantime, say federal investigators are excluding state and local police from the investigation. Stay with us for continuing coverage of the shooting. We'll update you with new information as it comes in. You can look for the latest here on KGW Plus, on air on KGW News, and on KGW.com.
Tonight on an all-new Straight Talk, a one-on-one with Multnomah County DA Nathan Vasquez on his first year in office and how he is now cracking down on some people who use illegal drugs.
That includes overhauling the county's drug deflection program after what he calls disappointing results. He says not as many people got meaningful help.
When we started to dig in and try to understand, okay, out of this whole program, what are we actually getting? It was, you could maybe count on one hand, maybe, the people that actually did any form of real treatment and got any type of real help. And so when we look at the millions of dollars invested and we get down to that end point with so very few people actually benefiting from this program, that's where the problem lies, and that's what's got to change.
Vasquez says offenders now need to, quote, meaningfully engage in treatment or face criminal charges. In our conversation with him, he opens up about his burglary task force successes, the public defense system, and how he plans to measure success in year 2.
Well, you can watch that conversation tonight at 7 on Straight Talk or anytime on our free TV streaming app, KGW Plus.
Still ahead, the massive landslide that could keep part of an Oregon highway closed for years.
And the Blazers may be asking the state to help pay to stay put, how a proposed arena upgrade could shift millions in tax dollars. Matt, how's the weekend looking?
It's looking good for all the skiers we just showed you. That's right, Ski Bowl is open now. They open at 3 o'clock today, and the weekend looks great. It's all pretty much dry. A couple sprinkles on Sunday and some very warm weather on the way next week.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, happening now, your Oregon Ducks are facing off with the Indiana Hoosiers right now in the Peach Bowl with a spot in the national championship game on the line. Right now, Indiana leads 21-7, and we're not even at the half yet.
We've got time, though. We've got time. The winner will go on to play Miami for the title. That would be a pretty interesting matchup for the Ducks since their old head coach, Mario Cristobal, is now the boss at Miami. Orlando Sanchez is in Atlanta for the Peach Bowl and will bring us a full recap of that game. Look for it tonight at 11.
To your point, there is time, and let's look for a high-scoring game here, right?
You know, that last touchdown that Indiana just scores was a very fluky play. The Ducks kind of had a weird fumble inside their own 5-yard line. So hopefully they can clean that up and make up some ground. Yeah, all right. Our weekend looks good. I can tell you that. We'll get a few sprinkles Sunday morning. Otherwise, it's going to be dry. We're sitting at 45 degrees right now, a mix of cloud and clear sky out there. Up in the Cascades, boy, the snow has been fantastic. It's going to be a busy weekend on Mount Hood, so exercise patience with your fellow drivers. Right now, it is just above freezing at Government Camp. You see the road has been cleared, but there could easily be some icy spots as the slush freezes overnight tonight. Same situation down at Santa Ana Pass, already below freezing there. That road just looks a little bit slick, right? So again, even though ODOT did a great job clearing the roads, getting the snow off them, you get a little bit of melting, get some slushing from cars driving on it, and you can get some refreezing. Same situation down at Willamette Pass, where it's also below freezing. Now, on the Oregon coast, it's going to be a nice weekend. The North Coast is going to get some rain, but there's a big swell train coming on shore from the storms that have been generated out in the Eastern Pacific. So that means the sneaker wave threat is real, and that's why there's a beach hazard statement for the valleys and air stagnation advisory through Sunday morning because we're not seeing much turnover in our air mass right now. That'll change on Sundays. We catch a few light showers. Clouds cleared today. It's really just a beautiful day around most of the state, but there's lots of high clouds offshore, and those will be coming onshore tomorrow, and eventually this system will bring some rain inland. See a few speckles on the radar off the coast of Vancouver Island. Now, the coast of Washington, especially up in the Olympic Peninsula, we'll get some decent rain this weekend, like an inch, but Portland, hardly anything. If we get any measurable rain, it'll be less than 1/10 of an inch, and even the prospects of that don't look all that great, as high pressure is again building here on the West Coast. It's been a semi-permanent feature pretty much all winter, and it's going to be flexing its muscles, as I'll show you as we go to next week. So here are the showers coming our way Saturday night at the coast, and then potentially the valleys by 10, 11 o'clock Saturday night, but more likely briefly on Sunday morning, very light, and then that moves along. And while we stay relatively wind-free on Tuesday, it already begins to warm up. And then towards the middle and end of next week, pretty good east winds are going to help us warm up even more for a really mild pattern for the middle of January. So again, after those showers on Sunday morning dries out, here's that really strong area of high pressure that'll keep us warm and dry next week. And I think we'll easily get some 60-degree weather on the coast, and we'll be close to that, if not reach it, in the western valleys. And eventually that'll break down, and it looks like maybe a week from Monday, we'll get a system coming in for more mountain snow. It doesn't look like we'll see a return to the really warm, wet pattern of December, so that's good news. And the snowpack that we have, we will largely preserve. The sun angle is so low this time of the year, and the days are so short that even with relatively warm weather for a few hours in the afternoon, we won't lose that much. So the snowpack should be in pretty good shape for a while. 50 degrees is our high today, 52 in Roseburg. We had 56 at Brookings and Gold Beach, and it's going to be getting at least 10 degrees warmer down there as we go into next week. It is 45 in Portland right now, and the freezing level already is bounced on up to 8,500 feet. It's pretty high. Partly cloudy, morning clouds or fog, and then highs in the low 50s. Lows all above freezing. Will be about 51 for Sunday and Monday. On Tuesday, 58. We drop a few degrees on Wednesday as a weak system passes by to the north, and then up near 60 on Thursday and Friday of next week. 58 and 59. So really a pretty remarkable week on the way, guys.
Looking good with that 58 and 59. I mean, maybe we'll even make 60. That's not unheard of in January, is
The
it?
records are in the low 60s for next week. So no, it's not unheard of, but it is record territory, and it would be, a good 10 to 15 degrees above average.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I love me some snow, but this is a great second.
This is pretty easy to
is
take,
pretty
too.
nice.
Got to go back the other way eventually.
Thanks, Matt.
All right.
Okay, coming up, the Trailblazers reportedly expected to ask the state of Oregon to help with upkeep of the Moda Center. According to the Oregonian, the organization is eyeing a $600 million renovation of the arena. The Blazers want lawmakers to redirect state income tax on players, team employees, and visiting players to improvements instead of those tax dollars going into the state's general fund. Chad Dewing, host of Rip City Drive, calls this legislation critical to keeping the Blazers in Portland.
In the end, I think the local politicians here in the city and in the state will do what is necessary to put this team in a position where they can be here long term.
So this is somewhat similar to legislation Oregon lawmakers passed last year, spearheaded by the Portland Diamond Project, with the hopes of attracting a Major League Baseball franchise to the Rose City.
All right, let's take you to Lincoln County now, where a mile-long stretch of Highway 229 between Kernville and Siletz could take years to reopen following this large landslide last month. Remember Kyle's story here? He talked to the people who escaped their homes as the mountain came down. State officials say the area remains unstable. There are too many unknowns to nail down a timeline. Right now, there's no detour. ODOT says it's working on a long-term plan. Of course, check for travel updates in this area and across the state anytime at TripCheck.com.
Yeah, you can really see the size of that slide in that video. Still ahead, a Christmas gift turned into a medical emergency. How a popular squishy toy left a local 7-year-old with severe burns. What the boy's parents want you to know. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back. An Oregon family has a warning for parents after they say a Christmas gift severely burned their son.
A warning, some of the images here that his family shared are really difficult to see. Tim Gordon takes a closer look.
He is 110 miles an hour all day long. 110% boy to the bone.
Seth Dean talked to us from his vehicle outside Legacy's Burn Center in Portland. Dean's 7-year-old son, Regan, is a typical second grader full of energy and curiosity. That curiosity got him into a bad situation on Christmas Day.
And when I got to him, he said, "Get this off me. It burns, it burns." Then my wife came around the corner and saw what was going on. And she's like, "We're going to the hospital." And we went.
Despite warnings against it on the box and from his parents, Regan put the popular Nido Nice Cube toy in the microwave for a minute to make it more pliable. When he picked it up and squeezed it, it exploded hot gel, causing third-degree burns on his chest, down his abdomen, and other spots on his body.
We just don't want this to happen to anybody else's kid. Because when you see your kid hurt that bad, it's tough.
The toy company describes the Nido Nice Cube as soothing for kids. Body heat warms it up to make it softer.
I got my handy dandy skizzers. Should I just
But some social media influencers have taken to experimenting with the cubes, here opening one up, and others putting them in the microwave. We found 2 other instances of kids being burned by doing the same thing.
There's things they see on social media that, we don't always see.
Seth and his wife Haley have 3 kids. Regan's the youngest. They all got the squishy cube this Christmas with a warning not to misuse them. Through 2 weeks in the hospital, surgery, and skin grafts, Regan is learning a hard lesson and handling it bravely.
I've seen him cry one time this whole experience. One time. Yeah. And I can't even make it through a phone interview without starting to well up,
Even hamming it up a bit while having a big New Year's Eve celebration in the hospital with his family.
Regan's doing really good. He's comfortable. He's positive.
And he's still smiling.
Tim Gordon reporting there, sending healing vibes. Now, Regan could possibly head home as soon as today. Loved ones have set up a GoFundMe to help with the medical expenses. We'll have a link to that at KGW.com.
By the way, we have reached out to the toy company for comment, though so far we have not heard back. Okay, more news in just 2 minutes. Stay with us.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We'll stick around for another full hour of news and weather in just 2 minutes. We're just getting started here.
Yeah, that includes our continuing coverage, of course, of the Border Patrol shooting in Southeast Portland, what we're learning tonight about the 2 people who were injured. In the meantime, we'll leave you with this view from our Salem Skycam. A nice Friday night out that way. A full hour of local news straight ahead.